You can use Python lists to keep track of a bunch of items, like a bunch of numbers or a bunch of strings. So let's see how that works. All right. Let's make a simple list of temperatures. So lists use the square bracket, and you put items in here with commas. So it's 89, 90, 88, 92, and so forth. And then you close it with another square bracket. If you print it, you'll see it's just going to show the same way. There's my numbers. You can add something to a list as a single item. So we can put another number in the temperatures list, and then we can print it again. So append is used to add one thing. There's the extra item. If you got a second list, say temps2, we'll do 80, 78, 86, then you can make a third list by combining temps and temps2 with concatenation. Oops. So see how temps and temps2 got stuck together left to right, and that is a third list. So that is concatenation plus sign. Remember, it works the same for strings. You have two quotes, something quoted and then something quoted. You can stick them together with a plus sign. Because technically a string, a quote, is a bunch of letters. It's a list of letters, or known as a string of letters or symbols. We can also print how big something is, how big the list is. Say size of temps3, %d, and it's the len function, len for length. So that will tell you how many things there are inside of a list. There are 8 things inside of the temps3 list. You can also use what's called slices, or just get individual elements. So a slice would be a portion of the list, like say the middle of it, or individual element would be like the first element, the second element, and so forth. So we can say first temp, and that's going to be temps3 bracket 0. So bracket 0 is always the first thing. That makes last temp at position 7, because there are 8 things, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are all the positions. Another way to get the last temp is to use negative position, which counts from the right side. So -1 would be always the last element of a list. And then we can say first 3 temps. And at this point, I think I'm just going to do a separate print. Temps3, and then I can use a slice, 0 to 3. The way the slice works is it does 0, 1, and 2, and then it stops at that 3. So you can get it will produce another list actually. It'll just print it, but that is how you get a portion of a list. So getting single elements or getting a portion. And just remember the counting starts at 0. So first temp is 89, as you see here. Last temp is 86, as you see here. Here's the other way to do last, which is a negative number. And you can do -2, -3, -4. It'll just count backwards. So -2 would be this one, for example. And then the first 3 temps, this is a slice. And you can use negative numbers and slices too, to get kind of, the last 3 elements or last 5 elements or whatever you want. Okay. Next, you can ask if a number or a thing, whatever it is inside of a list. You can say if 89 or 80 is in, so those 2 special words, temps3, else, right? So if blah is in list is something that Python allows. Actually, sorry, it's not. I always do this. I say it is in That's not how we type it. If 80 in temps3, it's an error to say is in. So sorry about that. But for some reason, my brain reads it as if 80 is in temps3, but we just want to say in. I don't remember if it is. Yeah, it is in temps3. All right, so let's do a different number, like 100. You'll see that it's not. I guess I should change these. So that's not in the list, so it should be the else case is not in temps3. All right, so lists are very easy to use inside of an if. It's very easy to check if something is inside of a list. And lastly, we can do a for loop, which is it's like a while loop, but it's a little more convenient when you have a list. For t in temps3, colon, and then you say, what are you going to do with t? So t will be, it'll go through all the different numbers inside that list. And we can just print t, just to show you that it works, but probably you're going to do something else with all the data in the list. But for t in temps3, print t will show 1 per line, every temperature from temps3. So very easy to go through all the elements one by one. And another kind of list is a range. Actually, if you say list range, the range function will produce numbers up to that number. I don't remember if it includes the 10 or not, but it starts at 0. Range actually doesn't return a list per se, so we have to convert it to a list. And I can print nums. So we often want to just do something, for all the numbers between 0 and something else. Or you can even do the numbers between two numbers. Range, we'll say 5 to 10. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it does not include the 10. All right, so with that, what you're often going to see people doing is for, whatever I in, and you don't actually have to convert to a list in this case. Then you can say I equal I. So you see two common for loops. For name of variable, you choose whatever name you want. For that in list, and then you do something with the variable. That's one common technique if you've already got a list of data. Another common technique for I, it doesn't have to be I, but for something in the range. So this is how you do something a certain number of times. If you want to do something like exactly 10 times, people just often leave the first number out. So I will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is like the common for loop for doing something a specific number of times. People do this instead of a while loop, for example. And it's a loop, so you can still put a break or anything like that.